What initially sparked you to this character in this script?
Three things. The opportunity to work with Edward James Olmos, um, and the story. Um, I like telling these stories. I like being part of telling these stories. Um, and I figured, well, there's something I can learn about the almond growing industry. Although that was obviously going to come with the territory, but yeah, and also not only to work with Eddie, but a whole cast of really great characters: Martin Sheen and Kate Bosworth and Holly Joel, and although I didn't get a chance to really work with um, Alfred Molina, but everybody else like Pablo Schreiber. It was just it looked like a stellar cast. That was going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a murderer's row. So
Yeah.
speaking of learning about almond farming, what was some of your research in that world like? What did you find out about that world?
How important the Central Valley almond industry is to the rest of the world. The amount of almonds that are exported from California uh, is was quite surprising to me, and therefore uh, how uh, uh, shocking it was that this oil company um, was doing what it was doing, and getting away with it, and that it took one farmer to blow the whistle on them. It's sort of a clash of two titans, although oil company is obviously you know a behemoth compared to an almond farmer, but uh, he I learned a lot. That was very enlightening to me.
Yeah. So Edward James Olmos, he both directs the film and he's one of the stars. What is he like as a director versus an actor? Are there like key differences, or does it feel sort of similar, or what is the difference there?
uh, he juggled those two things seamlessly.
Hmm.
um, as an actor, he's so grounded. uh, I really sincerely have admired his ability to hold the camera, and with a very economy uh, of movement and of actorly things, very economical. Um, Always comes across as a very deep, well-rounded character, and you can also sense that what a good person he is. And that's what was a delight every day. He's fun. He knows what it what it takes to make a movie. The work is hard, but he was more than well prepared each day to shoot what we needed to shoot. And you realize, in the end, this has got to be a good time. We're going to do good work. But he was an actor's director and a director's actor. That you couldn't ask for a better one. In
Best
my
of both worlds. Um, there's this fight scene that the two of you have that, well, a fight scene maybe in quotes. It kind of devolves into like a silly, sort of laughter-filled wrestling match. What was the process of staging that scene, executing that scene? Were there ever any versions where like it was a little more intense? What
no,
was that? Yeah.
it was say, okay, let's go for this. We're sitting on a couch, and okay, you're going to get up here, and then I'm going to push you, and then I'm going to tackle you, and we get on the ground, and let's just do it. And it was it was hilarious. We were laughing, sincerely laughing our asses off because this. But in retrospect, I think it was important to establish the bond between these two guys. The friendship, the trust, and also the boundaries. Um, and Eddie just said, "I think we got to go for it," and we did. And it stuck out in my mind as being one of the more enjoyable days, and also a really significant moment in the journey of both characters. Had you not had that scene, I think you'd still have the relationship, but that at the get-go laid the groundwork uh, for the depth of the relationship.
Yeah. What do you think is going on deep within Fred, your character? What is sort of the central emotion or drive that kind of decides his decisions, his emotions?
Couple of things. They touch on the fact that his wife has died. He's by himself. You know, he's hoping to get out of the game. He has this dream of a sailboat and maybe retiring from the arduous work of maintaining his business concerns, the almonds, and so there's that bubbling. Is he going to actually engage in this battle, given all of that? How much does he care? His love of his almonds, and uh, and then when he's awakened to what shore oil is doing, I think that triggered a defense of the land, a defense of not only his business, but this is wrong. They're poisoning the earth. I am, or as Fred, the farmer, I am providing food for the world. They're poisoning my food. And so on a very, very basic level, I think that got to him and said, yes, these people deserve. And when he learned about how much money they're stealing from him, just on a business sense, that was that certainly made him get fired up.
Hmm. Speaking of poisoning the water, maybe this is an odd question. There's that scene where your character's taking a shower and he kind of realizes, he even tastes the water and says, oh, it's the water. As an actor, when you are playing a scene where you realize water is unhealthy and water is coming down on you, is there a part of your brain that starts to think, is this water literally coming down on me safe? Does that sort of like start to collide or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that was the intention of the scene, is a kind of a wake-up call to what we take for granted, that the water coming out of our faucets is good for us and clean and healthy and pure and et cetera, et cetera. Think of Flint, Michigan. Think of Aaron Brockovich. Think of what the groundwater may be affected by the fires in Northern California. Anywhere there has been, well, across the Midwest with the Roundup and all of the poisons that putting into the soil. And here, coming out of a shower head, is potentially a toxic source, which we consider, which is vital to survival on the planet. So that's the intention of the scene. It's brief. It's a brief moment, but you picked it off. That's what Eddie was hoping to achieve in that moment.
Yeah. There's not soon after that scene, there's a pretty wild scene where you are clad in just a towel and a golf club, and you go and smash the heck out of a window of a Hummer, and it looks like it's in one take. How was that? Yeah. Did you actually like smash a window out of a Hummer?
Yeah. We kind of went through the steps, the process, but said, we got to go. We did try a couple of takes, but I realized, I'm not going to be able to hit it. I'm not going to break the window. Okay, stop. We'll do it again. But yeah, that was a tricky little thing to accomplish. But I think it's one of those scenes in the film, a lot like the wrestling scene, where this is hilarious. This looks like some kind of cartoon, weird satire, comedy, mad comedy. But the intensity, the motivation for that, I think, is part and parcel of the whole litigation. this is he finally realizes that has been taken. He's sort of been betrayed. He's been duped, scammed, and that kind of passion was I think was necessary to see in the character, which would propel him forward into taking the case.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I have time for one more question. We'll do a silly one for you. In this film, I think we have three very exquisite pieces of facial hair. There's your beard, there's Edward James Olmos' beard, and then there's Haley Joel Osment's beard. If you had to rank those beards, best to worst, what do we got? What's your power ranking?
Well, obviously Haley's was younger and fresher and fuller, um, but I'd take Eddie's.
His is number one,
Yeah, I'd take Eddie's number one.
and then you've got to be number two. Come on.
Well, it was a little scant, and a little. It was more like the almond grove after poison for a while.
Awesome. I think that's all the time I have. Thanks, David.
All right, thanks, Greg.